Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to continue talking about food. So first, think about this. What do you usually eat in a day? Do you have 3 or 4 meals? What do you have in each of them? Think about this so we can share in class. We're going to be talking about food trends. So, these are some of the trends that I have found. Intermittent fasting, veganism, pescatarians, fruitarians, vegetarians, alternating fasting, and keto. Have you heard about any of them? What are they about? What do people eat when they are following any of these trends? Have you ever done any of this? We're going to share this in class, okay? Great. Now go to your student book, page 65. I want you to please complete the text using the linkers in this table to complete the summary of the article on page 64. Some of the linkers can go in more than one place. In this case, you're going to use one linker to add more information. Furthermore, you have three for connecting contrasting ideas. You have two options to show cause and effect, and one to conclude the summary. Let's do A together. The author writes about the latest food trends. He says that farm to table restaurants focus on serving fresh food. They cut down on pollution and transportation costs as the food is grown locally. Here we are adding more information, so we're going to use furthermore. Now pause your video and work on the rest. Okay, let's go ahead and check. Another trend is air fryers, which are replacing frying with oil. Consequently, or so, people don't have to sacrifice fried foods in order to reduce their cholesterol intake. Although, even though 3D food printing will allow users to print food instantly and make specialized order easily, at present it is still limited in use. With respect to the social aspects of food, communal seating involves using all available space to sitting strangers together. So, restaurants can maximize profits and provide a unique dining experience. Tactile eating promises to engage all the consumer senses in the eating experience. However, it might not be for everyone. Finally, he addresses the questions of raw water. Although, even though some say that raw water tastes great and is good for you, others question if that is really the case. To sum up, food trends present some interesting possibilities, but they may not last. Okay, great. Now, if you notice, in some cases it was possible to use one option or another, but not all the time. For example, however, is going to be used in the middle of a sentence when it contrasts two ideas, idea 1, however, idea 2, or when we are again contrasting two separate ideas separated by periods. Idea 1, period, however, comma, idea 2. Although and even though, usually you can change them and there is not going to be a change in the meaning. Okay, great. Now, let's complete the chart here. You're going to be using the article in the page 64 to complete this chart. You have to use the phrases that are in blue. For example, in other words, what's more, etc. Pause your video while you do this and then come back to check. Okay, so the ones that we should have found for organizing idea linkers were first and foremost, secondly, and finally. Did you find this? Great. Now, to add more information, you should have found that is, in other words, and what's more. In this case, that is and in other words usually go in the middle of the sentence and are not the beginning of them. For connecting or contrasting ideas, we didn't have to find anything. I mean, you had a however with a capital letter, but that was it. For showing cause and effect, you should have found as a result. And to conclude, we had to sum up and in summary. Great job. Okay, now please go back to page 65. Here, you're going to complete this article with the correct linkers. Let's do the first one. I have always known that I could become a vegetarian if I wanted to. I am not a big meat person. If you ask me where I want to eat tonight, a steakhouse would be right down at the bottom of the list. Thinking about giving up meat and actually doing it are two different things. Here, am I adding information or am I contrasting ideas? That's right, you're contrasting ideas. Therefore, you're going to use however. However, thinking about giving up meat and actually doing it are two different things. We contrast. Now pause the video and work on the rest, please. Okay, let's check. Recently, I have decided to take the plunge and try it. I've been looking into the subject and here are my reasons for giving up meat. The first reason is the question of sustainability. Compared to growing grain, raising beef costs much more per kilo and requires much more land. Cattle also expel vast quantities of methane. As a result, the production of beef has an extremely negative impact on the environment. What's more, the consumption of beef worldwide is on the rise, which suggests that the impact will only grow over time. In other words, giving up meat is the same as being kind to the environment. Secondly, there is the question of cruelty to animals. You don't have to look very far to find horrible examples of animal cruelty. There have been a number of documentaries in recent years that focus on what happens behind the scenes in the slaughterhouses because people just don't know the reality. In fact, most of us have so little understanding of how animals are slaughtered that we don't associate eating meat with killing an animal. Finally, in my viewing, being a vegetarian is better for my health. Vegetarians generally consume less saturated fat, so their cholesterol levels tend to be lower than those who eat meat. Furthermore, vegetarians tend to have lower blood pressure and a lower body mass index. All of this is correlated with living longer. But there are some things that vegetarians need to keep in mind. Certain vitamins, like vitamin B12, are only found in animal products, so it is suggested that vegetarians take a supplement. Other substances that should be monitored are protein, iron, zinc, and omega 3. Fortunately, there is almost always a way of a vegetarian can supplement a deficiency and keep a vegetarian diet. To sum up, there are many good reasons to become a vegetarian. Did you have these answers? Great job! Now let's continue practicing. Go to your workbook page 26, please. Work on exercise 5. Here you have to complete the text with the phrases in the box. You already have number 1 done for you. Pause your video while you work on this. Okay, guys, great. We're going to check this exercise during class. I will see you then. Bye bye.